Hello everyone, welcome to the Ghost Layers Report. It's me as always, Ryan. So, as part of the new reconstruction plan, starting due to the nationalization of TEPCO, it appears that the chairman for NHK is now going to be named as one of the outside directors in control of TEPCO. Now this, at first, it's just kind of unbelievable that the guy responsible for NHK and all the cover-ups and lack of reporting and getting correct information out to the people of Japan is now going to be one of the people making some pretty serious decisions for the company that NHK has been covering for. Very surprising, but it shouldn't be, but it's still very surprising that move after move like this. They already have a lawyer directly in the front office of TEPCO, and now this. Man, really. But we'll take a look at this guy. He's 71-year-old Fumio Sudo. Now, he was formerly president of the steelmaker JFE Holdings, Inc. Now, of course, you have to look around to see his credentials and what he's been involved in the past. Well, one thing that came up when I started researching this gentleman was something that happened, appeared to be around 2005, when the Japanese steelmaker JEF announced that it would cut the salaries of both President Fumio Sudo and Chairman Masayuki Hanmyo by 50% for 2 months over a scandal related to a falsification of data on water discharge. And I'll give you a little bit of details on this. Basically, what happened was that the company announced that a plant had discharged wastewater that contained amounts of alkaline compounds and cyanide exceeding limits under the current water pollution control law. Now, 3 officials at the plant were indicated in this. I couldn't find any indication anyone was actually tried or fined or served any jail time for this. The worst thing that happened to Mr. Sudo was he got a pay cut for a couple of months until probably the media attention on the incident died down. After 2 months, it's all gravy as usual for the guy. So he got off real easy on that one. JEF basically tried to cover this one up and try to save face a little bit. There's no indication that anyone was fired, but the 3 officials directly related to it were suspended for an indefinite amount of time. I imagine by now, either back of the company or working for a different company. That's just a little background on Mr. Fumio Sudo. He is no stranger to controversy. Now, as his time he served at NHK, a lot of people like to give him credit for bringing a lot of revenue to NHK, following the tsunami, earthquakes, and nuclear reactor disasters in the country. It was during that time that the all-time record high for fee revenue in 2010 had been announced. Most of this was people rushing to get NHK's satellite service, which offers round-the-clock detailed information with their version of the truth and reporting. Now, that year, in 2010, they had profits up to, appears to be around 49 million in profit, compared to what they had originally projected that year, to $75 million deficit. So pretty good there, but can't really give him a lot of credit for that, although that's basically how they're hyping his street cred to get him on his outside board of directors. Now let's go into this board of directors a little bit closer here. This is part of the management under the Nuclear Disaster Liability Facilitation Fund. This fund keeps on getting mentioned a lot as being involved here and there. It seems they have a lot more decision-making power and control, then it's really been reported on. They're hinted a lot is being connected to making this decision and that decision. So we could probably keep a good eye on these people. But anyways, there's some other people that TEPCO has already decided they're going to announce. The NDF, TEPCO and the NDF are kind of working together here in a strange way. And TEPCO has also decided to name Yoshimitsu Kobayashi. He is the current 65-year-old president of Mitsubishi Chemical Holdings Corp. as another TEPCO outside director. Now, all these nominations and appointments will become effective the day of the general shareholders meeting for TEPCO, which is going to happen later in late June. Now, there's several other things here going on with this. Yeah, it looks at a few other names here. I'll go ahead and find this really quick. Yes, other prospective outside directors will include another lawyer, Kazuhiko Shimokobe. He's the chairman of the NDF steering committee right now. He's also the former industry ministry official, Takayashi Shimada. So people who are probably really closely connected with the ins and outs of all the massive corruption caused by the nuclear industry are becoming outside directors. Basically having effective a lot of control. It's how the government kind of keeps its fingers in TEPCO while it rebuilds itself. A director and general secretary for the NDF as well, Mr. Shimida. Shimokobe is expected to become TEPCO's chairman. We already reported that in the last video. Other board members or directors are still being decided at the moment. So a lot of experience here. A lot of people deeply connected to the whole mess it is getting involved in this. Now the total number of directors will be 11, and 7 of those will be from the government, which gives the government majority control of the directors. Now the most important thing pointed out from the information I've ran across here is that after all these directors are basically put into power, TEPCO becomes a company with committee. It's a type of corporate structure under Japan's companies law. In this type of structure, outside directors play a major role in decision making on personnel appointments and salary of management. So basically, these people will pretty much be doing choosing who is in which positions and who gets paid what. So they've taken over control of the money. So that gives all the guys who are not directly connected to the government, of course, are going to listen to anything the government directors say for the money. They get their payday, get big bucks. And these guys will also have the control to fire and hire people at will. It gives them more total control of this. So it seems like the government's going to have a lot of control over this, over TEPCO for a while, at least 10 years. There's a lot of major power going on here. But this Fumio Sudo guy, when I look at the type of people that's been named, we have the 2 lawyers now will probably be put in power. And we have this chemical company president, and we have this I don't want to say propagandist, but basically a man whose job it was to cover up TEPCO, make everything like nice and happy and harmonious, like everything's fine for TEPCO and in the name of the government. So that's what's going on. This kind of like an update of how this is coming to shape, how the government's actually going to control this. So we have some names now. We should definitely keep watching these people closely. If you have any additional information you'd like to add, please do that in the comments. More research, the better, guys. Okay? So we'll keep a close eye on this as this develops, as all this comes more clear and more people, names are mentioned and who they're connected to and who they are. So as always, I hope you enjoy this video. Please leave a comment in the comment box below. If you want to leave a video response, that's okay as well. And if the first time you watched the video or you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It's under username FreedomWV. the Ghost Lives Report. So until next time, guys, it's me here in Tokyo. Check it out.